gold seems to be back in fashion today, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, just reflecting on last year, it was a completely flat year, pretty much. And it was very much a year of two halves. You had weakness in the first half of the year, but the year finished really strongly. We saw growth in central bank demand, which recorded the second highest level of central bank demand on record. Jewellery demand, H2, was the highest H2 level in 11 years, and a really strong showing from bar and coin. And then spilling over to this year, we've certainly got off to a good start.
I've been a bit boring over the last few days. I've got to admit, I've been correlating the oil price against the gold price, and they're almost inversely proportional. We've had something like a 11 to 13% slump for oil during that second half of the year. Just as of the second half of 2015, gold started to take off again by around about 13%.
Yeah, there's no doubt that what's happening in the oil space is causing a lot of uncertainty in financial markets. You've only got to look at equity markets year to date to see developed markets down 10%, emerging markets down 20%, and the gold price has done relatively well.
But people also buy gold at times like this. This is right at the height of the Indian wedding season, isn't it, this kind of month? They buy it as an investment, they buy it for jewellery, they buy it for all sorts of reasons. When it comes to the percentage of people making up the market for gold, how is it stacking up at the moment? Is it still investment? Is it jewellery? Is it emerging markets?
So the lion's share of consumer demand, and indeed gold demand in general, comes from India and China. There are households in India and China that buy huge amounts of gold. So those are the two largest markets in the world. And what drives gold demand there? A few factors. The cultural element, in India especially, gold's just tied into wedding season, wedding demand, and the religious element, and that means large portions of demand are actually fairly inelastic.
We've got a very interesting article for our viewers on CNN Money, teasing out some of the key parts of your report, and it focuses very heavily on China, doesn't it? Gold demand soared by several %100% in China over the second half of 2015. Why is China so in love with gold these days?
So what was really interesting last year with China was it was actually buffeted by a lot of potentially strong headwinds. You had stock market turmoil, you had a softening in the economy, and yet we still saw strong growth in consumer demand. Jewellery was down a little bit, but bar and coin demand, people looking to invest and protect their assets, rose by 21% last year.
But that's your average person, it's not your central bank, right?
Completely. Thinking about the central bank specifically, the China's central bank, the PBOC, they consistently bought gold over a number of years. Going back to 2000, they've steadily increased their gold holdings. There was a large announcement last year where their holdings went up by 604 tonnes. And then every single month since July, they've consistently increased their holdings by 15 to 20 tonnes.
I just want to ask you, I know that you can't specifically give a target for the gold price. No. That's a caveat to our viewers here in case you're feeling like asking this, gentleman. But when it comes to the trend for this year, how is it looking? If oil stays down, stock markets stay down, are we still going to see that correlation, that inversely proportional relationship between those assets going down and gold going up?
So you're right, we don't make a forecast about the gold price, but if we just look at the fundamentals of the market, demand finished the year strongly last year. We expect to see strong consumer demand and central demand this year, and at the same time, supplies contracting. So in Q4 last year, we saw the first contraction in mine production since 2008. And if you just overlay that with some of the uncertainty, the financial market volatility, then 2016 could be a good year.